Well, very good afternoon from me over in North Yorkshire today, down in Richmond. I had intended to go off the Lake District this morning, but unfortunately I was overruled by Mrs. Metalman. I'm back at work tomorrow for the first time in 6 weeks. So Mrs. Metalman couldn't bear the thought of 3 days without seeing us, so we've done a local walk together. So last day of freedom before I go back to work. So I only work 2 days a week anyway, so I'm not complaining. But to be honest, it'll be nice to get back to do a bit of exercise, a bit more exercise. When I'm there, I do walk between 10 and 11 miles a day. So it was about -3 when I woke up this morning. But not a breath of wind, but it's the first day this autumn, or fall as we friends in America call it, that I've actually really felt the cold, the really nip in the air, which I must admit I don't mind. I've got my long trousers on today. I learnt my lesson the other week when I went to Dodwood over the lakes on a really blowy cold day. I had a pair of shorts on, and the wind was howling around the cairngorms. So it's just like, oh, it's a mile outside of Richmond, and we've got 3/4 mile to Easby, the Abbey, and we've got a really nice little church there, like, as well, which we always tend to stop. And on a sunny day, there's a seat outside, sit there, and the sun is always beating down on your face. Might be too much sitting today, I think, because like I said, there's a bit of a nip in the air. Mrs. Metalman's feeling it, so I don't want to get a chill, because if she gets one, I'll never hear the end of it. The river flows really, really fast here. I think it's the fastest flowing river in the UK. So, no matter how tempting it is, you definitely know we're going here for a dip. So, St Agatha's Church, really nice old church actually. And then you've got the old Easby Abbey ruin there, which we're going to walk past. And then today, I should imagine quite a spectacular sight as well. Suffered at the hands of King Henry VIII. And as Mrs. Metalman just said, he wasn't satisfied with having 6 wives. He had to smash down all these glorious abbeys as well. Which is a shame, because it makes you wonder what they would have looked like today. So a place we take our grandkids quite a lot, and they love running around here, hiding from each other. But yeah, really nice place to come and sit in the summertime and just let the kids run wild. And at one time painted by the very, very famous J.M.W. Turner. And I tell you something, I wish I could paint like that. Mrs. Metalman's warmed up there now, cracking a few jokes. I love all these stone buildings. Obviously people still live in these there now. Absolutely superb. Public walk through here, so it's a bit strange for somebody sitting in the house and you walking through the back garden, but at the end of the day, we've got a right of way here. And normally when we do this walk, we end up going to the top and coming around down that way. We always come across this field here. One thing you've got to be careful of is sometimes you've got cows in this field, so I'm sending a scouting party up ahead. Mrs. Metalman, as I hit the bloody things, I must be safe. She's continuing on walking.
Not another one.
She loves it really. So that's where we've came from. The walk down here, you've got an option of go stuck along the top. The path's very, very narrow, so it gets churned up with walkers. And you've got the steps down here, which we're going to take. I think it'll be better walking down here next to the river through the woods. Mrs. Metalman's going off piste. And the path is very clearly there, but I admire a sense of adventure. The sun trying its hardest to peek through. What a very pleasant walk down here through the woods. So I've done this walk numerous times over the years, and I actually filmed it about 2 years ago, and I think I told the story of the very, very famous story of the Drummer Boy, and this walk is actually called the Drummer's Boy Walk. Hundreds of years ago, when armies, they would take young children with them like as well, and little young lads, they were their job to beat the drums. An army besieged the castle, they couldn't gain entrance to it, but what they did find was an opening in the ground which led down to a cave, an underground cavern. It wasn't that big, so what they did was they sent this young lad with his drums down. As he went through the cave, he played his drums. He'll have been about 7-8-year-old. Part of the army then followed above ground. You can imagine pitch black, wouldn't be able to see where he was going, but they were hoping that he would be able to find a bigger entrance. And they were following him, and then all of a sudden the drums stopped. The young lad was never seen or heard of again. So people to this day will swear blind here that on a dark, cold, windy night, listen very, very carefully, you can still hear the sound of that young boy playing his drums, desperately trying to find a way back to the top again. So this is the Drummer Boy stone, and according to the legend, this stone marks the spot where the Richmond Drummer Boy reached in the tunnel supposed to lead from Richmond Marketplace to Easby Abbey. Here the sound of his drums ceased and he was never seen again. So down there was the Drummer Boy stone, and you can see where the castle is over there in the marketplace, how far he'd actually walked underground before his drum stopped playing. So some really nice houses down here, and really nice backdrop for the house, and looking out and down onto the river. A grey squirrel there. See a lot of them there now. I think the grey came over from America, I think. And unfortunately they chased out the native red squirrels, which were a lot smaller, but still very, very nice to see. Favourite of Mrs. Metalman's. Sitting eating his nuts.
Never seen that before.
There's something to the amount of times we walk past here and I've never seen that.
Never noticed it.
Yeah, money tree. There you are, it does grow on trees. So as the church bells ring, I think I might end it here. Thank everybody for coming along with us. Hopefully next time we're back over the lakes, and fingers crossed it'll be next week. If you like the video, it would be very nice if you click the like button, and also if you want to consider subscribing, that would be very much appreciated as well. So thank you very much for that, and we'll see you on the next one.